Hi, welcome back to Roundtable Talks with me, David Zaparis, broker of record at Union Capital Realty. And today we are here to talk with Shervin.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today, Shervin.
Thank you for having me.
Shervin, you recently came from the pre-construction side.
Correct.
So prior to that, you were in resale, went to pre-construction, now you come back to resale. Why did you make that decision?
Honestly, I've always, in general and throughout my life, I really liked helping people. And I got a very good opportunity to be able to be on the developer side, working directly with agents and their buyers. And just working in that environment, I was really able to just be able to educate the agents and their buyers as to really why they need to invest in a specific area. It's kind of different than being an agent and trying to convince your buyer why you should buy. It's more, I'm on the developer side and I'm really trying to sell that story to you. I really want to convince the agent and as well as the buyers why they should be investing in this area. So I had that whole educator mindset for about 3 years, and I don't know, it was just something clicked, and I just really wanted to come back on the other side and really guide the buyers into this industry and really show them why they need to be getting into pre-construction. Because one thing that I really noticed when I was working on the developer side was that a lot of the buyers that came in actually had no clue what pre-construction was, how it worked, how the deposits work, how they could really make money in this industry. So being on that developer side and helping out agents and guiding their buyers, something just clicked, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get back on the other side. I need to get these buyers to come in myself, and I really need to educate everyone to bring them in and really show them why they need to invest. I shouldn't just rely on the agents bringing in their buyers. Let me go out there, let me bring these people in myself, and let me really educate them on exactly why they need to be investing into pre-construction. Because again, it's something just not a lot of people have that much knowledge on.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right on the nose. I think when you are taking someone's money outside of a personal purchase to raise a family or whatever the case as their personal residence, when you are taking someone's investment money, there's a lot of options out there, whether it's pre-construction, resale, stocks, whatever the case may be. And I think the key, and you hit it on the nose, is the education part. And I do see it myself that there is a decent disconnect with a lot of agents when they're representing their clients. And that sometimes will either, two things happen. They're either buying the wrong project or they're just not buying at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's the worst case scenario, is not buying at all, because over time everything goes up.
Exactly.
So you obviously recognize a void, and you're there to fill that by being the educator for a lot of these investors.
Yes, yes.
And which is great. I think that is to me, I like to educate and not so much push one project. The key is to educate them on why pre-construction is such a good investment, and then the benefit of being in Toronto is you have so many projects to choose from.
Absolutely.
And your I guess expertise will come in is what's the best project for them based on their deposit structure, based on what they're able to put down. Saying that, but you've had the luxury of working with many people in this industry, whether it's broker owners or agents themselves. You did choose Union Capital Realty.
Yes.
Why did you choose us?
Like you said, I had the pleasure of working with many different agents and brokers in their offices, and it's one thing going into an office or maybe knowing an agent that's in an office and hearing about what's going on and getting hyped up and excited to join that office versus seeing how that office actually operates every day. So as an example, if we have a sales event going on, it's different from someone explaining to me, oh, come to our office, we have access, than to me actually see the broker on site with their agent and exactly how they conduct themselves and actually how they work on that Saturday and Sunday, how they push. And that's the one thing I've always told myself, if I were to ever leave that side of the business and get back into resale, Union Capital will really be the brokers that I would want to join. Because in my search, there were many boxes that I had to check off. But the most important things was management, mentorship, true access to pre-construction. Now, when I say true access, I mean more than just one developer, more than one development every year. Because a lot of people say they have true access, platinum access, VIP access, but it may be to 1 or 2 developers. So at most, you might have 2 or 3 developments a year you can really push. It's not that many.
And saying that, when you said it at the very beginning, you want to help people invest.
Exactly.
And if you're not open to all options, you can't effectively help them to the best that you can.
Absolutely, because again, you're trying to guide them to make that right decision. You're not trying to guide them to make a decision between A and B. It's I want A to Z, and I want you to understand why you're picking from A to Z, and I want you to get excited that you're picking A to Z, right? Yeah. So having that true access, where you have access to multiple developments every single year, is incredibly important for me. And the biggest and best thing of all is the environment. And I'm not talking about a fun, exciting environment. I'm talking about an environment where you're surrounded by true hustlers. People who will guaranteed keep you determined on a day-to-day. Because as you know, especially in this kind of market, there are ups and downs. There's a lot of moments where you feel discouraged. Yep. And in this kind of market, it's incredibly important to be surrounded by those people that are just constantly pushing, constantly hustling. You just see them succeed, and that drives you to want to succeed too. So when that day comes where you're feeling a bit down or discouraged or whatever, you see your other colleagues, they're just pushing. They get listings going, they have presentations going, they get clients coming in and out of sales, and that just drives you to want to succeed as well. So just being part of that environment was very important to me. And that goes back to seeing you guys work through these sales events, being on the developer side. You guys, your team, everyone at Union Capital, every single one of you are true hustlers. And that's the one thing that was very, very important to me to be a part of.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because I mean, we've only been in the business for 3 years, but the experience that John has brought in on the pre-construction side is, I honestly can put him up against anybody in the industry, and I do mean anybody, and he probably knows more than anybody. So, and he really spearheads that and leads that, and I think we've done a really good job here creating that environment for success.
Absolutely.
Now let's shift over to, I know we've talked the pre-con side. What are you thinking on the resale side?
Resale side, as you know, ups and downs. But the great thing about the resale side, I have someone, let's say like yourself, where you're actually giving me true leadership and mentorship and actually guiding me to take the right steps to make sure I'm still successful in this kind of market in that resale sector. Because of course I do have the experience of being on the developer side in pre-construction, but the resale side, of course, it's incredibly important. You can't, like we discussed this before, you can't just fixate on one specific market or one specific niche, right? You're not gonna be able to be successful that way. So in this resale market, again, it has its ups and downs, but that's why I said before, it's incredibly important to have that leadership and mentorship, because it's in this kind of market where that kind of shows, right?
Yeah.
So you're able to actually guide me to take the right steps to ensure that my adventures in resale, it actually ends up being successful, and it's not a waste of my time, my energy in any way.
Yeah, and I think with resale, I believe with resale comes structure, and I always believe that resale is your daily paycheck, and then pre-con was the bonus, right? It's because you're getting paid, 6 months from now and then 4 years from now, which is great. But the resale gives you your daily paycheck. But I also believe resale allows you to better create a relationship with that person. And then that individual or family or whatever the case may be will grow potentially into investors as well. Yeah. And now you can always flip them over to a pre-construction project. I want to say thank you, Shervin, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today at Roundtable Talks. Until next time, enjoy your day. Thank you, Shervin.
Thank you.